Hey, and welcome back to the Cluttered Garage one more time. Today I'm putting the rear tire on the KTM 350 in preparation for the SECA Hair Scramble at Dodge City MX on June 22nd. But I'm not here to really show you a video on how to change a tire. It's more of a video on a tool that I purchased recently and how to make it better. Years ago, when I was taught to put tires on, we used a 15-gallon drum with a run of a heater hose around the top to stabilize the wheel and kind of cushion the spokes. And back then, mag wheels were brand new, so had to protect those as well. We recently had the opportunity to deal with some bib mooses in one of CJ's bikes, and those require a tire changing machine like a Rabaconda or something like that to actually get them to work properly. In lieu of that, I went to Harbor Freight and bought this tire changing stand. Now, the same stand is sold under a lot of different brand names. Rocky Mountain has them under the Tusk brand name, but Harbor Freight is close by. The price was comparable, and I needed it now, so I went down there and got it. When I used it for the first time, I noticed that there were some shortcomings on this thing, and I thought about how in the world could I make it better. So that's what this video is about. This thing does make breaking the bead, which is the hardest part for me, changing a tire, is getting the bead broken down. Once you get the bead broken down, it's really fairly easy to change. But I'm going to show you what I did to the Harbor Freight bead breaker to make it way more user friendly. Okay, so here's the Harbor Freight tire changing stand, and what I did is this thing comes with these Mickey Mouse plastic pads on it, keep the wheel from being marred up. But the big problem I had was this thing would move around on the floor. So what I did is I got 1-inch heater hose at the auto parts store, and I used a hook blade knife to slice this hose. The reason you want to use a hook blade is because it's much easier to control, and you can make a really good cut in this stuff. And then once I put it on, I put it over the tubing, and then I took my safety wire pliers and I secured it in a few spots all the way around this thing to make it pretty firm. And it doesn't slide around on the floor. It's pretty stable. While I was at Harbor Freight, saw these tire tools. These are the most massive things I've ever seen. They must be, I don't know, 24 inches long. Yeah, they're 24-inch general purpose tire tools. They're twice the length of the tire tools that I use normally. This tire tool here I've had for well over 40 years, and God knows how many tires it's changed. But I saw these, they were cheap, and in case you ever need some extra leverage, I believe these tire tools will pretty much do it. All right, I'm going to show you how this thing will break a bead down. All right, so here we go. We're going to break the bead down on the KTM rear tire. I always start with the sprocket down. You don't want to really work around the sprocket because that thing will eat you. So you got to be really careful. We're going to take our 10 millimeter wrench in this case and take the rim lock loose. Okay, we're going to rotate it around here where I can get to it, and we're going to take the valve stem retaining nut loose here. By the way, you want to leave that retaining nut relatively loose against the rim in case the tire were to slip. It won't pull the valve stem out. This one, for some reason, is actually tightened up a little. Not sure why, but I guess I should have checked that more often. But you want to leave those nuts are just to keep the valve stem from going in. In our situations, keep the valve stem from going in when we're doing the tire change, because that's a real pain to fish out. Next, we'll take our valve core remover and remove the valve core. All right, the air is out. Now I'm going to position this valve stem. Valve stem is here. Rim lock is there. I'm going right in the middle between them. I'm going to take this bead breaker, and it's kind of adjusted. Let's change this a little bit. I think it was set for a 21-inch tire. Put it right there. And the bead's broken. Rotate the tire. Flip the tire over. Do the other side exactly the same way. I take my hands and do the rest of it. Now, flip the tire back over to where you're not working on the sprocket side. There's the rim lock right there. We're all good here. And you want to take a little lubricant. I use Dawn dishwashing detergent and water. Believe it or not, the old guys that taught me to change tires, we used to put gas in the squirt bottle and run around in there. That's because the gas evaporated. That probably wasn't real good on the rubber, but probably didn't really think much about that. And I like to start there again about halfway between the valve stem and the rim lock, and we're going to work our way towards the rim lock. Put 2 tire tools in. I have 2 different sizes, a long one and a short one. I'll take that long one and put it under the disc right there. If this was a really fancy wheel, I would use some rim protectors, but this is a well-worn dirt bike wheel, and it's really, I'm not going to hurt it appreciably. Now we'll get the rim lock out. Dig that out, and we'll start the tube out. There, I started halfway, 180 degrees from the valve stem. Tube is out. Flip the wheel, pull it up in the bead over there. Take a tire tool, put it in there. I use a straight end here. Another tire tool. We'll put the tire over. On a 15-gallon drum, you got way more leverage. And it's off. You want to inspect your wheel. Make sure your rim band is in good shape. I actually use duct tape because it seals up really well. If you notice, there was no dirt in here, and I've ridden several mud races. Makes for a really good seal. We're going to do the same thing here with the powder. We're going to coat the tube pretty good with powder as well. Just like powdering your butt. Take a long tire iron, lift up on the tire, and put it all straight in all the way through. Push down, and you can put the valve stem through. Then take your nut and just get it started. You just don't want that valve stem to go hiding back in the rim. Remember, we're not going to ever tighten that down anyway. Pull the bead up over it. I like to just kind of take the tube and tuck it in right in the middle. We'll be sure and get it over that rim lock. All right, we're gonna take some more lube. All right, I'll usually start between the valve stem right there and the rim lock. Work my way towards the rim lock. Push it in as you get to it. So the bead of the tire goes around it. And if you notice, when I put this tire tool in, I give it a little wiggle. And what that is for is to make sure that I don't have any tube caught in it and I'm not in danger of pinching. I used to do this pretty much all by hand, but this tire is pretty tough and I'm not on the drum, so I can't put my body into it. Now I'll work my way back, grab just a little bit of tire at a time. All right. And we'll air it up. Air it up. Make sure the bead pops out, but not quite all the way out. A little bit more on this side. All right, once I've got it aired out and the bead is pretty well seated, I will take the valve core out again. And then air it back up and let the air out several times. Now what that does is if the tube happens to be twisted at all inside, airing it and letting it deflate like that helps the tube, along with all the powder that we put in there. It lets the tube settle in and you don't have any twist. If you have a twist, that's a problem that could cause a flat. Put the valve core back in. My pressure gauge went. I'll use to check the pressure. I got about 25 or so pounds in there, and I'll just leave that 25 in there to seat the tire on the rim real well. At this point, you can tighten up your rim lock, and you have pretty much done it. I didn't set out to do a tire changing video. I said that at the very beginning here. I was going to do a video on just modifications to the Harbor Freight tire change and stand bead breaker. This flap right here needs to be extended probably 2 inches. That's another project I'm going to work on with this thing. With that done, I believe it would make it usable for bead moose type tires, to where you have to use a breaker to really push the bead on as part of the process. That's a project for later, but for now, I'm going to put this tire back on the bike. We've got a couple of days before we'll be racing. Saturday to be a 4-moto format, 2 for each class. It's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be 97 degrees Saturday. So that 1 hour break will either be good or bad. I'm not real sure. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Maybe you learned how crazy an old man is changing tires. I don't know. But I hope you learned something about this. If you wouldn't mind, click on that subscribe button down at the bottom. Hit the like button. That helps me with YouTube. I'm trying to get this thing going. This is going to be my retirement, guys. I need some help. Anyway, I got a lot of knowledge to share. This thing over here is going to have a whole episode sometime this summer. A few other things. Appreciate you watching. Come back next time.